Hey friends, it's Becky L. McCoy, and this is Sucker Punched. Hey friends, I just wanted to let you know that you have a special treat. I'm going to try and release the last 4 episodes of this season over the course of the next week. Crazy, right? I know. But I just thought, we're all running errands and cooking and cleaning and wrapping presents and driving on car trips. And so now you'll have 4 stories to listen to over the next month as you are doing all of those things. A heads up, the sound quality got a little strange with this one. We don't really know what happened, and we stopped recording and started over again several times to try and fix it. So I'm really sorry. Sometimes this just happens, and I really appreciate your patience with that. If you really care about audio quality when you listen to podcasts and music, I cannot recommend the studio earbuds and headphones enough. I have been using my pair of the Tray model for over a month now, and I really love them. Sometimes I sit back in my office working on stuff, and I really like the app Coffeetivity. It's like coffee and productivity smushed together, Coffeetivity, and it makes it sound like you're in a coffee shop while I put in my Tray earbuds and put on Coffeetivity, and I layered it with some music, and I felt like I was sitting in a coffee shop getting my work done, which is awesome because I cannot work in a really quiet place. So it's been awesome. The sound is just like so clean and a really, really great quality. They're comfortable. I just keep them in my purse now so I can use them whenever I need to. They're Bluetooth, but they come with a charging cord, and they're really, really easy to use. So if that's something that you are interested in, you can head to beckylmccoy.com/studio, use the code SuckerPunch15, and you'll get 15% off any purchase. So that makes for a great Christmas present. They have the earbud model, and then they also have like the traditional over-the-ear, like bigger ones. So depending on what you or a loved one likes, just go to beckylmccoy.com/studio, use SuckerPunch15, get 15% off, and I promise you will not regret them. I'll tell you a little bit more about the company and their products during the break. But for now, here is the first part of my conversation with my friend Sarah. I'm here today with my friend Sarah DeLeo, and we are like actual in real life friends from before there was like Skype or ways of connecting on the internet, which is like super fun.
Because we're old.
I'm pretty sure that when we first became friends, I still had braces and giant glasses and thought that it was cool to brush curly hair. So
I'm pretty sure I wasn't too far behind you on that.
Oi. Anyways, so Sarah, why don't you share with us a little bit about your family and this difficult thing that you guys have to deal with?
All right, sure. I have been married for 12 years to a wonderful guy. We have 3 little girls. My oldest is 10, my middle just turned 6, and my last baby just hit the 1-year mark, and she's not really a baby anymore. And my oldest was our throw into parenting and deal with all the hard stuff at the same time kid. She has life-threatening food allergies. So I think we've been dealing with this since she was 2. And I will mix up the dates a little bit because it gets all jumbled up in my head because there's so much to remember. But she was 2 when we found out. At that time when you gave your kids food, they told you to wait on the peanut butter until they were 1. But we knew at 9 months that she had some kind of a food allergy. We just weren't sure what it
Wow.
was. At 9 months, we gave her sweet potato. It was her first vegetable, and she broke out in hives. And we had to pull her off all food, back onto breast milk, and start all over again, like the whole introduce a food, wait a week, do the next thing. At 9 months, which was a nightmare.
Yeah.
And then I thought it was good to introduce peanut butter at 1 year, which was fine for a good year. And she ate it and she loved it. And then all of a sudden she'd eat like 3 bites and just throw complete temper tantrum. And she was around 1.5, 2 when that happened. And we couldn't figure out what until we started realizing there were hives all over her face every time she ate it.
Yikes.
It wasn't, it was a soft start into the world of allergies because she didn't have her first anaphylactic reaction until she was 5. So we got at least we got the hives and a little bit of a warning.
Yeah.
For a lot of people don't get that. But yeah, that was our first, just don't give her peanuts, don't give her nuts. We went to the allergist and they basically were like, she's too little. We're not going to test her yet. We'll wait a couple years. So we waited till she was about 4 and we got her tested, and it turned out she had 7 allergies. And we had no idea what they were, and some were anaphylactic and some weren't, and they were weird. Like, she's allergic to banana. Like, I've never met anybody who's allergic to banana, but my daughter is.
I actually have a friend who's allergic to bananas.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there you go. Now you know too.
That's good. She's like allergic to banana and melon.
Yeah.
Like all melons.
Yeah, I think my friend has the same thing.
Oh, well, maybe I should introduce her to my daughter. They'd love each other.
Yeah.
For a little bit. So it was very weird, and it was sesame, tree nuts, peanuts, coconut, and sweet potato. And she was fine, and we just avoided it. We didn't really read the labels, just kind of avoided what we could avoid. Until it was her 5th birthday, poor kid. And we took her out for ice cream, and for some reason this time she wanted a flavored ice cream, and my husband thought, let's give it a shot. And well, there was some peanut sediment in the flavored ice cream, and she had an anaphylactic reaction to it.
Oh my word.
Which was absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
And propelled me into this whole world of the FDA and what they label, what they don't label, what companies label, what companies don't label, shared lines. It was a nightmare.
So she turns 5. She has her first anaphylactic reaction. You start learning all about the allergy world, because it's not as simple as just don't eat peanut butter.
Oh, I wish it was, but no, it's not.
So as you realize how complicated of an issue this is, now you know it's not just about hives, but this is a life-threatening thing. How did you react emotionally?
Oh, man. I have anxiety, and oh my goodness, did it crop up. I was terrified. I was terrified to let her eat anything. At this point, what we basically learned was that she was allergic to cross-contamination. It wasn't just ingesting the peanut.
Right.
And then there's all these questions that go through your head, like, if I take her to a play place and somebody had peanut butter and they touch this, if she touches it, is she going to react? If she drinks water that has coconut in it, how do I do this, basically? So it was a really steep learning curve. It was a lot of in-depth talks with my husband trying to figure this out. I think I pretty much panicked for a good 3 months. It's completely overwhelming too. There's just so much information and so much to learn that you're I just totally overwhelmed.
Yeah,
and there's no other way to put it. And terrified, because up until then you don't think your child's going to die if you're not watching them carefully. You let them play in their room and you're not thinking they're going to die. And now you're thinking, oh my word, I need to be everywhere this child is forever.
Right.
Because she could die at a moment's notice and I would not know. It was horrifying.
What did you struggle with most, in that first year or so?
Probably learning how to control it and not scare her. I struggled a lot with, I would freak out. And I think any mom in that situation would. Yeah. So then it was just kind of a, how do I calm myself down so that I don't scare her? So she still wants to play with her friends and isn't scared of, playgrounds. Which to some extent I exceeded. To another extent, I mean, she's a horrible eater still. And she's afraid of new foods, and most of it is because she's terrified she's going to react.
Yeah, fair, which is fair. Like I have an anaphylactic allergy, and I understand the fear. Like, ooh,
you're terrified.
Yeah.
And then there's with the little kid. I've been shot. She's had 3 anaphylactic reactions. So at this point, she knows what the EpiPen is.
Yeah.
She knows that it hurts, and she doesn't want to use it.
Yeah.
So the whole idea of trying new foods was just, no, I'm good.
Not worth it.
You can just keep that, Mom.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll eat chicken nuggets and pizza for the rest of my life. I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's so much to it.
So how did you decide to handle it? What kind of became, not like your mission, but what was your goal for yourself and for your family in learning how to cope with this?
Well, I'm a researcher, so I researched till it was dead, and then I beat it again. As much as I could. I did as much, recon as I could. I tried to figure out what the best way was to handle it. Every January, I still do this. I spend about 2 weeks calling companies to see where things landed for them, what their labeling practices were, how they followed what the FDA said. I control it as much of it as I can. Now that she's getting to be about, in that tween stage, she's not letting me control as much as I'd like to. So I'm trying to learn to let go a little bit and give her a little bit more of the responsibility. But it's been a lot of figuring out what should I control, what do I need to let God take over, where are we comfortable, because really the amount of food that's actually peanut, tree nut free completely and guaranteed that way is minimal.
Yeah.
Yeah, she couldn't live that way. So figuring all that out, we kind of eliminated all our allergens. The only ones we do eat are banana and melon because they're not anaphylactic. So those are in our house, but everything else is not. And we've worked on learning how to heal guts and taking probiotics because there's research with that. And I went a little crazy.
So you've removed anything that has like the anaphylactic. You're doing probiotics and really like looking at all sides of what can help her.
Pretty much. And so far we've had some great success with it. We are amongst the lucky few, I guess you want to call it. She's starting to grow. She's starting to outgrow them, which is a just huge blessing. So my list of 7 is down now to 5, which is why I'm trying to remember it all and where it took place. She's no longer allergic to sweet potato. We have taken sesame off the list, which is our biggest and most difficult to control allergy.
Okay, I'm back with more information about these awesome headphones that I've been using. The company is called Studio. They are from Sweden, and they're trying to let more and more people in the US and abroad know about their product, and I really want you to know about their product. So, the newest model is for people who live actively and really want clear sound coming through that's well balanced. It has not over 9 hours of active battery life. Like seriously, I was so nervous that I was going to have to be charging these constantly. I think I've charged them once in the last month. Like I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say. They have 10 days of standby life. This is not one of those things that if you don't use them for a week and you forget about them, you go to use them and the battery's dead. Like the battery is incredible. Like I said, I keep mine in my purse. They come with this great little leather carrying pouch, so you don't have to worry that they're going to get damaged or get tangled or anything. It's sweat-proof material, but it looks so slick. Like, they're really, really beautiful. I got them in this dark blue color that, they're just awesome. So then they have these custom wingtips that stay comfortably in your ear, whether you're exercising or just getting some work done or listening to music. You don't have that problem of them like ripping out of your ear because the cord gets stuck on something. They're really, really great. But you can also, they're not completely sound blocking. So you could use them driving and still hear the traffic around you, or running and, hear what's going on around you. But the clarity is just really, really incredible. It uses a lot of Scandinavian design with high polished metal and matte surfaces. Like, I just keep saying, right? They're beautiful and they're really, really a great product. So if you're interested in checking out this company, Studio, they like to make tech devices function as accessories as well. And I'm totally on board because I think that they're doing it and it's awesome, and they ship worldwide, right? Can't complain about any of this. Go to BeckyLMcCoy.com/Studio. It's SUDIO. The coupon code is SuckerPunched15 for 15% off. Again, it's Studio, SUDIO. You can go BeckyLMcCoy.com/Studio and use the code SuckerPunched15. It's going to make for an awesome Christmas present for somebody else or for yourself. I don't know. I don't judge. I'm telling you, these are awesome. Anyways, back to my conversation with Sarah. So how do you find out that she's not allergic anymore? Because it's not like you want to have mashed sweet potatoes for dinner knowing that she could have this potentially really scary reaction. So what do you do to kind of test and see the level of her allergies?
Okay, so what we do is every year in the summer we do a blood test. It's not incredibly accurate, but it kind of gives you an idea whether levels are going up or down. And then every year in the wintertime, we do a skin test.
Okay.
And because we do it yearly, we have a baseline. We kind of know where she's at, where she's going. So her blood levels have consistently gone down on all of the allergens. And so sesame is probably the easiest one to explain because that was an anaphylactic allergy. It was her worst allergy. It was her highest level allergy. So her blood test was the highest and her skin test was the worst on sesame for years. And then out of nowhere, it dropped 2 or 3 points in the blood test and the skin test was non-existent. And it was far enough down on the blood test, the doctor felt comfortable. So they brought us in for what's called a food challenge. And what they do is you spend about 6 hours at the doctor's office and you do consistently increasing doses of your allergen. And they basically sit outside the door, hand you your food, and make sure that they have an EpiPen.
Wow.
And wait to see if you're going to respond. Which was nerve-wracking.
I was going to say, is that terrifying?
It's like, and how do you explain that to her? It was 2 weeks before her 10th birthday, so she knows what's going on. And explain it to her. Hey, we're going to go to the doctor's, and we're just going to make sure we're going to give you sesame seed, and we don't know if you're going to respond. So we're hoping we don't have to shoot you,
Yeah.
So she was scared too. But she passed with flying colors, had no response at all, which was just amazing because sesame is so difficult to control. And now
when you say control, that means like it could be there's cross contamination or tiny little trace amounts that people might not put on a label or stuff like that, right?
Yeah. Well, here, I'll give you a quick little primer on the FDA. Okay. So food companies are only required to label for inclusion, which means if it's actually in the product. They do not have to label if they use the same line. They don't have to label if it's in the facility. They don't have to label if it could be cross-contamination. A lot of companies will voluntarily do that, but it's not a necessity. So you can't just go by the label. So if it says, contains nuts, yes, of course, we're going to avoid that. But if it doesn't say anything about nuts, you still need to call a company, check what their lines are, check if there's, nuts in the facility, check if they run it on the same lines. Some people are okay with the cleaning process on the lines. Some people prefer dedicated lines. That's where your level of comfort gets to. Mm-hmm. But that's only for the top 8 allergens, which are, and I'm going to get this wrong because I always do, wheat, egg, dairy, soy, peanut, tree nut, shellfish, and fish. Mm-hmm. Ooh, I did it right. That's the first time I've done it right. So that's only for the top 8. That does not include anything outside of that, which is her sesame, her banana, her melon. But sesame is a really widely known component, and they don't even have to have a label for that in the product. So anything with natural flavors, artificial flavors, could contain sesame oil.
Wow.
So that was impossible because, it's not a top 8 allergen. It's not controlled. You had to call to see if they labeled for it, if they would include it, whether or not the product. It was just, there's a whole group of us on Facebook that would keep up with each other, and I think that's the only way I stayed sane. Once I gotta be honest, just nuts now is so much easier.
So how did you, we talk a lot about the hard things that people are dealing with, but then also that it's never all bad. Even in like worst case scenarios, it's never all bad. So even though, you're trying to literally figure out how to keep your child alive because almost any food could kill her, what good things have you learned? How has this impacted your family in a positive way?
Oh, so many ways. My kids are so good at including differences. They're so good at seeing it and not seeing it, which is amazing to me. They are, because Kaylee's just so used to being on the outside of things. Mm-hmm. So she just doesn't have any desire to see anybody else be on the outside.
Yeah.
Which is just amazing to me. And to see her heart turn that way instead of being miserable about it is fantastic to me. I love seeing that in both my girls.
Yeah.
The older two, the little one's just too young to see any of this yet. We have developed a huge community. I told you we had the Facebook group for Sesame. I'm still there. In a weird twist of fate, right after my daughter found out she had anaphylactic reaction to sesame, my mother found out she had grown into it.
Interesting.
There's 2 different, adults can grow into it, kids can grow out of it. So I stay there because of my mom. I want to keep tabs on it so I can, feed my mother when she comes over too.
Yeah.
But partially because I walked through life with these people for 3 years. And it's such a great community. I love the people that are there. I don't think I could leave if I wanted to. The allergy community is nice, and it's been a blessing to be blessed by people who get it. Mm-hmm. Even people who don't deal with it. To educate those who don't, because a lot of people just don't come in contact with it. And you can't blame them for not understanding it when they've never seen it. And then the moms are school moms and people have taken care of. My church just goes above and beyond for Kaylee to make sure she's included every time. It's been fun to watch that. As much as the hard times have been and the hard people you have to deal with, the good people are so much better.
Yeah.
Just so much more amazing to me. So, I don't think I'd trade it for the world.
Yeah.
It was a good thing for us.
It's been really neat to watch you learn to take care of your daughter, of your oldest, but that life is normal. Like, if somebody walked into your house, they would not know that you guys are dealing with anaphylactic allergies because, like, you guys just live normally. It's not like a bubble. It's not like, this, like, walking into a hospital and, like, everything is, like, sterilized and, way over the top, but you know how to handle it. And I really admire the way that you've been able to handle the food allergies, but then also you guys are dealing with like asthma and all these other things. Like, it's not even just that you're parenting with allergies, and the way that you don't give up on caring for your girls is really quite incredible. So I hope you're proud of that, because I'm pretty proud of that for you.
Well, you are going to make me cry in front of people. That's not very nice.
Well, they can't see you. It's all right. Let it flow, man.
All right, good. I definitely did not have one of those weeks where I felt that, so thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, they're special kids. I'm blessed to have them, and I don't think I would trade the asthma or the allergies for the world. I've learned so much from all of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet. How do you feel like you've decided to live bravely as a result of being a parent of a kid with such extreme allergies?
Oh, let me tell you, I am not a confrontational person, but I have learned to be a mama bear. That, for me, takes a lot of being brave.
Yeah, for sure.
I hate being the one who's like, hey, I need to check the packaging. Can you fix that? Like, no, she can't have that. I'm bringing food with me.
Yep.
I can't tell you the multiple people I've offended, and that's really hard for me. So, personally, I've had to learn to be really brave in that aspect. And I've tried to be, I'm never was that person who like took up causes, but I really try to be an advocate for the food community now.
Mm-hmm.
People don't get it. And I don't want people to go out and say, oh, I hate this person because they just don't understand and they're driving me crazy. I'd rather look at it from the other point of view. Like, these people don't understand, but nobody's told them.
Right.
So their first response is going to be something that hits you the wrong way.
So give some examples of those things that people say that are just really not helpful.
Oh, man. How much time do you
have? Yeah. Your top 3.
Is it really that bad of an allergy, or can she have a little bit of it? I don't get a lot of them because I'm really blessed in that, but I hear it all the time from people, and I'm just like, oh, wait, I'm allergic to it, and I can eat it, so your daughter should be fine too. Yeah, no, I made peanut butter cookies on that last week, but I cleaned the pan, so we should be fine. Ugh.
Yeah.
It's not, they're all good-hearted sentiments.
Right.
And they all want to include Kaylee, and you hear it, and there's nothing inherently bad about that, but like, those phrases strike fear into my heart.
It seems as if the frustration happens for you because people don't understand the severity. Like, this is not like seasonal allergies, like some sniffling and like you feel under the weather.
Yeah, that's a lot of it. And they don't understand that, or they don't understand because food allergies can take so many different avenues. Like, some kids, Kaylee's ingestion only. We are totally blessed. So she has to actually put it into her system. Some kids are peanut allergic, and if it's in the air or if they touch it, they're instant anaphylactic shock. There are just so many levels, and it's hard to... I'm going to back up. It's impossible to manage somebody else's allergy.
Mm-hmm.
You have to let them do it for themselves. So people really want to include you, and they really want her to have fun. And it's nothing but goodwill, but sometimes you just want to look at them and just like, stop. Just stop. Just let me do what I need to do, and please don't be offended by it.
Yeah.
I just need to keep her safe. I've had to use the analogy a couple of times. Listen, if you are complaining about bringing peanut butter in school, you need to understand that's like for me, it's like bringing a gun that's pointed directly at my kid.
Right.
And I know that that's a really violent analogy, but that's all I can think of to tell you. Like, I live in fear that I'm going to call.
You. Right.
I live in fear that she's going to go to school, and that one, So the nurse calls me and says, don't panic. But this little girl who had peanut butter for lunch, went outside to recess with your daughter, and your daughter had a loose tooth, and the little girl wanted to touch it, so she touched her in her mouth. She doesn't seem to be having any symptoms at all. What do you want to do? And of course, my heart stops cold, because who plans for a little girl to decide that my daughter has this cool loose tooth and put her finger in her mouth, you know?
Right.
It's the scenario that you don't plan for. Nothing happened. Thankfully, the school has them wash their hands if they eat peanut butter after lunch to, save the kids with the allergies. But I rushed to school and listened to her for half an hour, and I panicked the rest of the day. I think I sat and prayed all day.
Yeah.
just God, just let her make it home. Just let her make it home.
Yeah, for sure.
So, it's just one of those, it's scary, but you try to learn how to cope. You try to make it as normal as possible. You don't want her to be not included in things because of it. And all I keep hearing is it's worse as they get older, so I'm a little scared of that too. But yeah, God's been good. It's been amazing to see all the things that happen from it.
What would you say to encourage another parent whose kid, who they've just discovered that their kid has severe food allergies?
Oh man, there's so much I could say. Don't freak out. You're going to want to, but don't. There's so much out there. Find a Facebook group. Find a blog group. Find a group of people who've done this. Get some help. And it's not the end. It's not the end of this for you. And your child's not going to suffer for it. My terrifying was that Kaylee was going to be different because of what we had to deal with. She's an amazing, kind-hearted little girl that I cannot take credit for. And a lot of it's because she's had to go through hard stuff already at 10, and she's had to learn how to deal with it. She's got a rock-solid faith, which I'm impressed with, and part of that is because she has to find something to believe in. She's got something to hold on to. So your kid will make it. It'll be okay. And it's okay to be neurotic. Don't let anybody tell you it's not. You want to be neurotic? Be neurotic. Be as neurotic as you feel is the way that you're supposed to go. Because really it's about where you're comfortable and what you need to do for your kid. And nothing else really matters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, thanks so much for sharing.
Thanks for letting me.
Yeah. Yeah, I know how passionate you are about helping other families, but also helping people to understand what it's like to have a kid with food allergies. And, it's only taken us till the end of season 2, but I knew right when I started the podcast that I wanted you to share this story. So,
I know, we've been so bad about this.
Here we are, almost 50 episodes, but that's okay.
Hey, we did it.
That's right. It was kind of a gauntlet, but here we are. So, before we say goodbye, I want to ask you some fun questions so that people can get to know you. And it's all just kind of whatever comes to mind. So, no well thought out answers required.
Good.
Yeah. The first is, what are you loving right now?
I am embroidering like a crazy person at this point, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. So,
what kinds of things are you working on?
I can't say some of them because they're Christmas presents, but I have been working on some felt designs and little kid things, and
cool.
I made my outfit for my daughter for her first birthday. I don't know, something different, something I can pick up and put down.
Yeah.
With a toddler running around the house.
Right, exactly. What's your favorite meal, snack, food?
Okay, so that's a hard one because my daughters are addicted to baking shows. So at the current time, we're kind of going through every new thing we want. So we haven't tried macaroons yet, but we want to do that. And we just perfected cheesecake.
Awesome. I know. Macaroons are on my list. I said I was going to figure them out this summer, and that just did not happen.
Well, and go figure, they have a nut flour. So I got to figure them out without a nut flour.
Right, yeah. How are you going to do that without almond flour, for sure?
Somebody said pumpkin seeds, so that's our next move.
All right, all right. What are you doing to take care of yourself?
Believe it or not, this is a breakdown I had today, so not much. But I need to be. I'm going to work on getting my toddler to sleep a little bit more. And that will be a huge move forward in self-care for me.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to get a little bit more time to myself. I have a traveling husband and 3 kids, so I'm learning. But, I take any and all advice in that area. Feel free to, message me on that.
Yeah. Well, I have a Pinterest board, a self-care Pinterest board. So
I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah. And I'll put that in the show notes while we're at it.
That's perfect.
Well. Yeah.
I'm sure we're not the only moms that don't do a good job of that. So.
Yeah, right. What are you doing to be brave?
Oh, parenting 3 kids is brave for me.
Yeah.
Very brave. And learning how to be a wife for a traveling husband is, all this is brave for me. My husband just started traveling the past year. So I am not good at being alone. And I added an extra kid afterwards. So I think at this point, parenting and wifing are brave for me.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, we're all gonna, so everybody who's listening, comment below this episode with a self-care suggestion for when there is not another adult in the house, because both Sarah and I could use that.
Oh, amen.
And give Sarah some love, because those are 2 really hard things to deal with, so.
Well, and hey, and listen, if you need to form a support group, I'm up for this too. Just, whatever you need to tell me at this point, please.
Yeah, there we go.
Take it all.
Well, yeah, community. That's why, are you in my Facebook group, my Brave Together Facebook group?
I am.
Okay, so that group is awesome because people will just post and be like, okay, here's what I need help with, or look at this awesome thing I found on the internet this week, or whatever. And so we'll have to start like a self-care thread or something in there. So anybody's welcome to join. Yeah. Come find me and Sarah in the Brave Together Facebook group. So, well, friend, thank you for sharing so much with us and helping those of us who are not dealing with food allergies to learn more about them, and how just kind of the daily grind for those of you who are dealing with them.
Yeah, thanks again. I really appreciate you letting me.
I am so glad that Sarah was finally able to get on the podcast. I've told other guests on the podcast before, there are just some people that we just have a really hard time kind of getting our schedules together, and life happens and whatnot. But I don't know, I just feel like this was the right time for this episode. And to all of you parents out there with kids with anaphylactic allergies, and those of you who have them yourselves, like, I applaud you. You think about so many things and just mentally manage so much more information on a regular basis, even minute to minute, than the rest of us do. And so I hope that you can just kind of take a deep breath and figure out some ways to take care of yourself, because you've got a lot going on. And I really appreciate how my friend Sarah has helped me to learn more about that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, leave a review on Apple Podcasts, or a rating. We're at 5 stars right now, which is so awesome and so cool. And I'm so thankful for all of you who have been listening for so long. I think we're going to do something fun for a few people who have left reviews on Apple Podcasts. So whether or not you use Apple Podcasts to listen, I mean, leave a review anywhere. It doesn't have to just be Apple Podcasts. But I think we're going to pull from Apple Podcasts a few people who've left reviews and maybe send them some presents. I don't know. So leave your reviews. Check out the studio headphones, BeckyLMcCoy.com// I always get it mixed up. Let's try again. BeckyLMcCoy.com/studio, SUDIO. And the code is SuckerPunched15. That will be in the show notes for you to check out. Have a great day when you're listening to this, and be sure to check out the next podcast episodes that are coming, because they're coming a lot faster over the next week. So you'll have more to listen to. All right. I am thankful for you. Come join us in the community, the Brave Together community on Facebook. You can find me anywhere on social media at Becky L. McCoy and on BeckyLMcCoy.com. I would love to hear from you. Let me know what's going on in your life. Send me an email or leave me a message. I really and truly love getting to know my people, because you are my people, because you spend, 30 to 40 minutes of your week with me every week, and I love you for it. So yeah, send me a message. Let me know what's going on in your life or a fun Christmas tradition. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye.